Welcome to Insights. Today our training is focused on everything you as a manager need to know in order to make yourself and your team more successful at using Insights. We're going to start off on the My Company page, where, as you know, we have all the details of your strategic plan, your vision, your purpose, and your core values, also known as core behaviors, are right on top, so they're always front of mind. Down below are the initiatives that your organization is working on. And if you click into them, what you'll see is the list of all of the goals that individuals and teams are working on that support the success of this initiative. Remember that the status is only visible to the employee and their manager, and then your manager's manager, as you waterfall back up into the organization. Two things that I think are most important for you to take a look at here. One is, when was this goal last updated? So if it hasn't been updated since last year, the status may not be up to date. And when is this targeted due date? What your job is to make sure that we have the right people working on the right things at the right time. So this overview will really give you a chance to dig in and make sure that we have all of those things working together. So the My Company is a great place for the organization to take a look at who's working on what, how are we doing, and do we need to move things around. I'll teach you a simple trick here. If you click on the line graph to the right, you can see an overall view, and if I just wanted to see who was behind, I can click on just that bar that shows me behind. It's a simple way to get a quick and easy view over what's working and what's not. I'm going to jump to the My Team page because this is the next place that I as a manager need to keep an eye on things to make sure I'm up to date with everything I need to do. So what I see here is that Bill has requested a one-on-one. I can simply go in and accept his one-on-one request from here. It will also show up in your email and on your calendar if you've linked your calendar. And you'll see over here that there's what we call a shish kebab. If I click on that, I can either reschedule or delete this meeting that's coming up. So lots of functionality right here in front of me. I also have the opportunity to schedule one-on-ones. I'll tell you, our trick here is ask your employees to be responsible for scheduling the one-on-ones rather than you trying to keep up with it for everyone who's on your team. If they all do it on their own, all you have to do is accept. The great thing about scheduling one-on-ones through Insights is if you've connected your calendar on the back end, we make it really easy. If I click on Schedule One-on-One, I just start typing in the name of who it is that I want to meet with. The date, I pick the date that I want to meet with Steve. Here are all of the times that we are both available. I choose how long I want the meeting to be, and I put in where it will be. I simply click Save, and you'll see that the invitation has now been sent to Steve, and it's also scheduled on his calendar. So we try and make it as simple as possible for you and your team to set up one-on-ones. The other thing that you can see from here on your team one-on-ones is anything that's coming up. So I click on this My Team. Here are the one-on-ones that are already scheduled. I just have a really nice view of what's here and what's coming up. And if you click over here on the My Past Team one-on-ones, this is where you can review one-on-ones that have already happened, what your final scores were, any comments that you made, so that if you want to go back and review them, they're all right there. I'm going to go back to my team. What I have here below is a snapshot of my direct reports and how they're doing. So I can see that Jennifer's doing pretty well, but Joe over here has got 40% of his goals are behind, and Dave has 50% of his goals behind. So I might want to click in and see what's going on for Dave that I need to really help him out with. It's just a simple way for me to keep track of how my team is doing and what do I need to help them focus on. What you'll see over on the right-hand side are your upcoming one-on-ones. When you have a one-on-one, before you meet with the employee, you'll need to go in and prep. So this blue prep button says, I still have something to do. I simply go in and I prep, and I say, here are Bill's responsibilities. How is he doing? Is he behind, on track, or ahead? Which, with each of his responsibilities, woohoo, he's doing great. He's really behind, I think, on this one. I'm going to make a note to remind myself to talk about this. And you'll see as soon as I start typing, I can either save the note or save and pin it. If I save the note, it will show up for my next one-on-one. If I save and pin it, it will show up as an ongoing note until I unpin it on all of our upcoming one-on-ones. I do the same thing on progress against goals so that I'm really giving feedback as far as how I think he's doing on his goals, and I do the same thing against core behaviors. What you'll see with each of these is you can add a note over here on the right hand side, or at the very bottom of each section you can add comments. Once you've finished filling out the form for your employee, you click on I'm done, and you can go back to my team. What you see here now is, because I prepped for my meeting with Bill, it shows up as a white prep, which means I've done my prep. Bill has not done his prep yet, and when he has, it will turn blue like this to do the meeting. Over here again on the right hand side you have a shish kebab, so that if you need to edit what you've already prepped, you can do it here. You can reschedule from here, or you can delete this meeting. So I want to just point this out because sometimes people miss that there's a way to change your meeting dates over here, and you can do that. Once you're ready to have your one-on-one, you simply come and click on the Meet button, and what that will show you is both statuses next to each other, so that when you have your one-on-one together in your conversation is when you come up with this final score. So the agenda's already done for your one-on-one. Everyone knows what you're going to be talking about, and there are no surprises as far as what's on the schedule. I will tell you, these are the hard conversations, and they're also the conversations I want you to have. If the employee thinks they're fine and you, the manager, think they're behind, it's important here to really talk about what's going on. You can make a note again here and either save it, which means the note will only show up on this one-on-one, or you can pin it so that in the next meeting, if you want to write some things to remind you of what you wanted to talk about, you can do that here. As well, this conversation is equally as important. If the employee says I'm behind and the manager said, oh, I thought you're doing fine, you as the manager want to know, what's going on? What can I help you with? What's the speed bump that's keeping you from being successful? So again, these conversations are the hard ones to have and probably the most important ones. If you don't remember on goals what the measurements of success are, you simply click on the goal and it will show you what the tracking mechanisms for behind, on track, and ahead are, so that we make sure that we're always on track with each other and what we're doing. So for your one-on-one, you simply go through all these areas. You have room for comments here. You're going to review the core behaviors. How are we doing here? And then the last thing you're going to look at together is the employee gives you their feedback on how they think we, the organization, are doing against our initiatives. Again, look at this. If the employee says, I don't know, it may be that I, as a manager, am not doing a great job of communicating. So I want to make sure I take the time to really discuss this with them so that they have a sense of how we as an organization are doing. I finish up making all the notes, anything else that I want to make a comment on, and I click We're Done. Your one-on-one meeting is done, and it's archived and saved in your past team one-on-ones. The other thing about the My Team page that's always a great tool for you in case you didn't know where to find it, is if you click on Departments, this Department tab, what you can see is everyone in your department, so those are your colleagues who also report to the same boss as you. But if you wanted to look at a different department and see, oh, who's in the finance team, it will bring up that team. You will not be able to see their status if they're your peers or somebody that doesn't report to you. But what you can see is, oh, here's Bill Taylor. If I wanted to, I could click on Bill and I can see who reports to him. Oh, nobody. But if I wanted to, I could see what his responsibilities and goals are. Again, I can see this status because I'm logged in as the president of this company, but as a peer or somebody who doesn't, that Bill does not report to, I will not be able to see the status of those goals. So important to know that those things are always private. The last thing I want to point out to you on the My Team page is that while this is a great place for you to get a status of the goals for your employees, it's also a great place for employees to go and see where everybody else lives within the organization and what their responsibilities and goals are. So that is completely transparent within Insights. The other thing I just want to point out for you here is you can request 360 feedback on anyone who reports to you. So you could go in and request 360 feedback. So I'm going to say it's for who, right? So Jennifer, who reports to me. I'm going to say from who. I'm going to ask for it to be Bill Taylor. And when it's due by. Anyone who requests 360 feedback can get that feedback, but just know that as the manager, that feedback will only come to you. It will not go back directly to the employee. So it's important to know that if you've requested 360 feedback or your employee has requested 360 feedback, you'll find it under the My Team feedback right here. And you can see, oh, we're still waiting on completion on these. So I can request it here. I can request it on the My Team page. We make it simple and straightforward for you. The one other thing I want to point out is up at the top on the right-hand side, you'll see this flag. If I click on it, what it tells me is all of my to-do items. If you have a whole lot here and you know they're all pretty good, you can go in and approve all. Our recommendation is that you do each of these individually. So Dave submitted a goal. I'm going to go in and review it. Here's his goal. I can either approve it or send it back for edit if I want him to make changes. So it's up to you as far as managing all these things. We'll keep this reminder on just to show you how to get things done. But it's very simple and straightforward, and we like to put it right in front of you. The last thing I want to share with you is on the Me page. Again, you'll see here, Jackie hasn't linked her calendar. We want you to make sure that you do that so that you can set up one-on-ones easily. This is where you prep for your upcoming one-on-one with your boss, right? So you can set up one-on-ones with your boss or your boss can set them up. You can request 360 feedback. Because I'm on the Me page, this is me requesting feedback on myself, right? And I can see feedback here. Jackie can see what the status of her requests are if she had sent them here. So all in one place, easy to do. The last thing I want to remind you are two things, actually. One is that we have a very robust help center. So if you click on help here, you'll see our help center with all kinds of videos and articles to help you out. And if you need something right away, you just click on the support button. It'll take you to our support team and send a message to them with whatever it is that you need help with. That's it for our training for managers and supervisors. We hope that you will have meaningful conversations, make sure that everybody has transparency, and use Insights to make your organization a great place for everyone to work. Thanks. Have a great day.